Recording from Sandy, Utah, you're listening to Idiot to Genius. Hello, my name's Steph Shoell.
And I'm Utah Todd with the Shoell Group at eXp Realty. Each episode focuses on individuals that found themselves desiring more. If you're feeling like an idiot, join the club.
Welcome back to another segment of Pods and Property. It's the beginning of February. And Todd, to start off, we need to talk about affordability.
Ooh.
Like, is there anything being done to make housing more affordable?
The thing that's really interesting, the current political administration relative to our economics, he kind of fascinates me in a way. Because he's very he does things that I think you're nuts. It just isn't going to work. Tariffs. I'm very against tariffs. He does tariffs and they work. I don't get it. I mean, it completely violates everything that I think is going to work. But obviously, I'm not running the country, and he is. So anyway, when it comes to affordability, it's something that he even addressed just a couple weeks ago. He brought up about affordability, and somebody asked, "Are you going to bring the cost of housing down?" And his response was pretty amazing, because what he said, how would that be fair to people that already own houses? And I was like, excellent point. He goes, we got millions and millions of people that own homes, and if we all of a sudden bring the value of those homes down, how is that fair to them? He said, I could do that. He literally said that. I could destroy the housing market and have all the housing cost, the price of all the housing drop. But again, how is that fair? So what he did do, that I just went, oh my gosh. So what he's talking about doing is like one of the major factors for the young people are the credit card interest rates, because there's a lot of credit card debt and the credit card interest rates. So what he's looking to do is take the cap from, in other words, the maximum that credit card companies can charge you in interest. Right now it's at 38%. They can charge you up to 38%. He's looking to drop that to 10%, that they cannot charge you anything more than 10%. So that's number one. Number two, he's looking to create barriers of entry into residential. Now, not commercial. He's letting commercial be whatever, but residential, like the institutional investors like BlackRock and all of these institutional investors, that they cannot enter into the residential market. So that would decrease the competition, would start to settle things down. And then the third factor that is a big one is which we are hearing a lot about, because he's looking to change the chair of the Fed. He's looking to drive interest rates down. Now, this whole thing is a big, what do you want to say? There's a lot of factors. There's a lot of sides to it all. And so people are asking me, they're saying, how is he driving down inflation? Because he's a spender. And a lot of people are asking me that. I'm getting that question quite regularly now, because they're shocked. Because did you know that the real time inflation number is like at 2%? Okay. Really? So it went from 9% to 2% in a year.
Holy cow.
It's like, so the thing that he is doing, because spending, he's a spender. Okay, so spending, he's not taking spending off the table at all. He's a spender. He likes to spend. He likes putting money out there. But what he's doing is he's addressing the other side of inflation that in my lifetime, I have not known a president to address this. And inflation is too many dollars for too few goods. And I emphasize, too many dollars for too few goods. That's what it creates inflation. And so what his focus is, every other president, every other administration always focused on the dollars. That's what they always focused on. He went, nah, I'm not going to worry about the dollars. He focused on the goods. So that's what he's using the tariffs and everything else to do, is to be a bargaining chip to get people to bring their production, their goods and services, the manufactured goods and services to the United States. So he's increasing the goods, and he's decreasing the regulations associated with being able to start a business, being able to create service, service businesses, services, those kinds of things. He wants to he's decreasing the barriers of entry so people can get in and giving tax advantages to people bringing their manufacturing here. So as they do that, it's increasing the number of goods that are out there. It's increasing the flow of goods. And that's how he's beating the inflation, is by increasing the goods side rather than addressing the dollar side. And it's working. The thing that really I try to do is keep, when it comes to the politics, I really, people think I'm political. I'm really not. I avoid politics because I don't want to get into personalities. I really don't care about personalities. I want to talk about what are their policies. What policies are they going to put in place? We can argue all day long about Trump's arrogance or his womanizer or whatever you want to talk about. There's plenty to talk about if you want to talk about personality. But when it comes to policies, I am blown away in a positive way by the policies that he's putting into place relative to how it's improving the lifestyle, improving the security, improving all aspects of being here in the United States of America. I mean, I'm blown away, just blown away by it.
No, that's cool to hear, and I'm curious, you said that the regulations on residential, so you mentioned some companies. So, like, are they buying up a lot of homes
Oh,
and then
they were.
renting them?
They were. They were buying entire subdivisions in some areas.
Oh,
Entire
really?
subdivisions, absolutely.
All
Um,
over the states, or are they just in certain states?
Buying up the entire subdivisions in certain states, I've sold several homes to like BlackRock or Associate or institutional investors, multiple, where I have listings and they come in and buy it, and it's cash. They come in, they pay cash, they buy it, and really the goal, and this is, I'm not speaking out of turn, they've literally announced this. Their goal was to buy up the land of the United States of America, the residential properties of the United States of America, and rent it out to Americans, rent it out to people that live here. That was their intention. That's the direction they were headed. And then Trump's going, no, 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 no. We're not going there. You're not going to do that. But here's the thing that I don't understand when it comes to Trump's policy. They're paying cash. So how is he going to control it? Because if the BlackRocks of the world can come in and they're paying cash, how do you stop them in a free market, which I'm in favor of free market. How do you stop them from buying it? Like, they're not taking out loans to do it. How are you going to control that? How are you going to stop that? I'm not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Like the
I'm not sure
regulation
how.
for that.
Yeah, not sure how he's going to pull that off. But anyway, that's what he said that his goal is to get them out of the residential market.
Wait, so if they're buying up whole subdivisions, does that sort of, are they controlling how much the houses are worth? Because are they like bidding more on stuff to get that whole area worth more?
Well, they're just going to rent it out. So they go in and buy up the subdivision at, I assume, fair market value. Okay, at the time, fair market value, and I'm not sure. I haven't looked at the numbers today, meaning recently, at how much they're buying up. But I knew several years ago they were buying up entire subdivisions, expecting property values to go up, expecting that what they have is to go up, expecting rents to go up, expecting everything else to go up. And if they have control over the land, if they have control over the properties, then now, once they have it all, stop and think about it. Once they rule, if they were literally able to wave a wand and own all the real estate in the United States, or at least a significant portion of it, they now are the market. They will
That's
control the
so
market.
scary. That is so scary.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It's called tyranny, is what it's called. Tyranny. Because economic tyranny is, let me turn that around. Economic freedom is part of freedom. Meaning, if we're going to live free, if we're going to be a free nation, we have to have economic freedom as well. And they would be taking over the economic side of it all. So it would not be good. It would not be good.
I mean, and that seems like one of those battles, like what you said, how do you regulate it? It hasn't been done before, but like cool that like that's all in the work to help these first time buyers so that then all the other buyers our houses aren't having to go down just to help everyone else.
Well, and the thing that Donald Trump, like getting to the other topic, was the credit cards. The thing that Donald Trump pointed out was if we drop the interest rate, and he said you can have, as a credit card company, you can set the payment, you can keep the payment where it's at if you want. It's up to you. I just don't want the interest rate to be more than 10%. And so stop and think about it. If you're making a $500 a month payment, I'm throwing out as an example, or $300, whatever it is, $200 a month, whatever it is, and if your interest rate's at 23%, and now your interest rate drops down to 10% or less, you're going to be able to get out of debt a lot quicker. And so
Yeah.
now you're going to qualify to purchase a home a lot quicker because you're going to be able to eliminate that debt. So that's how he's doing it. Rather than decreasing the value of the properties, he's increasing the ability of the masses to buy.
Well, I would assume that credit card companies are not happy with that.
Oh, they will
'Cause
not be.
is that just, like, new people, or is that any, like, existing debt?
Well, I believe it would be existing everything. I think it would be across the
Dang,
board,
yeah.
but that's yet to be seen. I mean, we don't even know if he's
Uh-huh.
going to be able to pull this off. That's just what he's announced that he's going after is the credit card companies, the institutional investors, and the interest rates. So he's hitting it just like Donald Trump. All you got to do is read The Art of the Deal. If anybody hasn't read The Art of the Deal and you want to know how this man thinks, read The Art of the Deal. I'm almost embarrassed to say it was just a few months ago, maybe a year ago, I guess, that I read The Art of the Deal. And here I should have read it decades ago because it is that old. But it just showed me so much about the way he thinks. Everything is a negotiation. The way the man thinks, there's nothing that is not a negotiation. And that's the way he ticks. And you can see it in his foreign policy. You can see it just everywhere. He's constantly posturing, negotiating. And right now he's negotiating with Iran, saying, "Guys, you better get your act together. We're going to attack." So anyway, it's everything's a negotiation.
Interesting.
So
I mean, it's exciting though that like there's stuff like you said, whether or not it can be pulled off or not. It's exciting that there's stuff that's trying to be done behind the scenes for everyone, just so that
yes,
homeownership. Because I saw a reel the other day that said the reason why homeownership feels so hard is because right now, especially where we're at, that it's 6 times what most people can afford the
yeah,
the rate of a house. And I was like, okay, that makes sense.
yeah. Well, just in I should have the years in my head, but it wasn't that long ago that somebody could buy a home that was making less than $60,000 a year, like $59,000 a year, that they could afford a house. Now it's over yeah, you have to be making over $100,000 a year to be able to afford a home. Um, I don't buy that 100%, but that is the statement. That's what people are saying. I don't buy that 100% because I help people buy homes that don't make $100,000 a year. So I don't think that's 100% accurate. But the bottom line is comparing apples to apples. It went from 59,000 to like 110,000 comparing apples to apples, and it's just crazy. The inflation, everything else going on, it's just crazy. So it's
Yeah.
great to have somebody that's paying attention to that, that's looking at it, and that isn't looking to just destroy the market and to achieve their objective. But
Yeah,
when
for
it comes to
sure.
podcasting, how does somebody grow their podcast? Help me out here. How do they do that? How do they make it bigger?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you, Todd. Like, I have been researching this because my background is business to business podcasting. And to be honest, business to business podcasting, you care about who's in that chair by you because you're wanting to do business with them. If no one listens, it doesn't matter, right? So I've never cared about stats. I've never cared about growth. And so I've been in this like growth mindset and I've been like, okay, how do I grow business to consumer? And it's also a challenge. And I want to tell you, most of the stuff that's out there, I'm frustrated by because I feel like they're falsely being like, oh, yeah, if you take all of your clips and you post it on social media, you're going to grow. I'm telling you, I'm doing that on all my shows. That's not the secret sauce to get you a ton more listeners. Like, yeah, it's great. And if you have like 100,000 followers, then for sure. But for most people who are less than 1,000 followers, less than 500, that it's like that's not the secret sauce. But what I can tell you is I've been doing trial reels. So every day I've done 2 trial reels. I missed one day, 2 trial reels and a post. And that got 11,000 eyes on my account. And that's all like organic, right? So if you do want to grow through Instagram, there are ways to like get more eyes on it, but like it takes work and I think that's the thing like I'm seeing so much stuff like do this and you'll instantly get all these followers and it's like there are all these people listening and I'm like listening to all these other podcasts and I'm like no, most people are struggling right now and there's not one secret sauce because there's so many podcasts out there and the fact that if you have 20, I think in December, it was if you had 27 people listening to your podcast in the past 7 days, you were in the top 50% of podcasters. You only need
Wow.
like, it's almost 5,000 listeners to be in the top 1%. So we're talking, when you're talking about, podcasting, like back when I started and I shared it with all my family and friends, even though I wasn't looking at the stats, whenever I would see people, they'd be like, oh, I've listened to all the episodes because back in 2017, there weren't as many shows to listen to. If we're being
Right.
honest, there just weren't. And if you knew someone that had a podcast, you were more likely to like listen. And um, if you're frustrated about growing, I just want you to know that like I'm in that same boat right now where I'm like, okay, like all this stuff that I'm reading and everything, like, and no one's giving a clear answer of like, oh, I did this for 30 days, this helped. So I'm starting to do some challenges for myself. I'm gonna try doing some paid ads because I'm like, okay, that's the number one question that I get asked is how do you make money podcasting? And I'm like, I honestly don't think that a lot of people know. And
Right.
sometimes these people that are like, "Oh, yeah, like, I grew my podcast, but they spent, $200 a day on ads." Well, most podcasters who are DIYing it, they can't afford that. That's not realistic.
Well, now you said something for them doing a trial.
A
What'd you call it?
trial reel, yeah. So
Trial. What
Instagram
is
rolled
that?
out okay, so Instagram rolled out a while back trial reels, and what they are is they're only showed to people who aren't following you. Um, and so you're constantly being, like, put in front of people that don't know you, right? And so, honestly, none of my posts like, I think one of my reels got, 600 views, and as I've listened to other people with Instagram, unless you're a huge creator, most people's posts aren't really doing more than 400. Like, that's just sort of like
Oh,
the jail, the 200 to 400 is like the jail that it's in. But little consistent, and that's my whole takeaway. If you're wanting to grow, yeah, you can put your stuff on Instagram and it's connected to Facebook and Threads, and then you can put it on LinkedIn and everything. And like the consistent little by little, that does grow it. But if you're looking to get 5,000 downloads just because you posted one thing, like that's not going to happen most likely unless you go viral.
wow. Wow, yeah, unless you hit something that goes viral. And the thing that as I've talked to some of those people that are, like Sean Whalen and people like that are big, they said that they're shocked at the things that go viral. Where they've had several things go viral and they're going, you just don't know what's going to go viral. You really
Yeah,
don't know.
for sure. And so, like, I because I've seen so many podcasters care about the numbers and then they stop podcasting because they're discouraged. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if years ago I was caring about the numbers, I don't think I would have gotten to 1,000 episodes. And so I guess my pleading with this is like, why are you doing a podcast? If you're doing a podcast because you want more clients, how many more clients do you need? You know, if um if you're in the service-based industry, honestly, if you have 30, you're probably set for the year, right? You aren't needing like the thousands, the millions. And so I think that puts it into perspective too of yeah, it's great to post, but like maybe follow and like and comment and build relationships with those people you want to do business with. Because most people who have a podcast that goes with their business, they're and even if you sell something digitally, like and you're trying to make more, that's different, but most people are like service based, right? Like they have some service. A podcast works great for you, but do not get discouraged by those 30 listeners because those are 30 potential clients who will give you actual money, you know?
Right, right. Such a great point, and I agree with you. It's all about the way you frame it, perception. You know what I mean? You're putting things out there, and so many times in all of social media, when I'm posting that kind of thing, if I pay attention to numbers, like you're saying, I just quit, just get discouraged and not do it. But now, like right now, I run into people that say, "Oh," and they've never liked, they've never shared, they've never made a comment, but they're going, "Hey, I saw your content, and I follow you as far as seeing your content. I see your content all the time." And so you just putting it out there, you are, and if you're following the numbers, I think you're missing the boat. You're
Yeah.
putting it out there, and people can find you, and the people that you connect with will will find you and will do business with you.
For sure. And I think that like I've talked about this over and over that these podcasters that like this is their only job. There it's completely different than how most people are podcasting, right? And most people right now, they're on social media, there's a fatigue. People are not following, they aren't liking, but like what you said, they're lurking. They're they're looking, but you may not know. And so yeah, like so that's my big thing with growing is like if you're I mean, it's very easy on Riverside. I've been clipping up our clips from this and start with a small number. Like I started being like, okay, we're just gonna take 2 clips a episode. Cause yeah, you can take like 6 clips, but what's realistic, you know? So I'm starting with 2 clips a episode, and those 2 clips that I export, they go to YouTube Shorts, they go to Instagram, which then it's all connected. It goes to Instagram, Facebook, and Threads. And then I put it over on LinkedIn. And I would say a big thing that podcasters are sleeping on, and if you really like are looking for a tool to reach more people, LinkedIn articles. Have you done anything with LinkedIn articles?
No.
Okay, so here's why LinkedIn is such a underrated tool that a lot of people aren't using. They have a newsletter feature where you can create it where anyone who follows you is then subscribed to your newsletter. So when I do episodes for my show, Pod Savvy Guide, and it's sort of a tutorial or whatever, you can create individual articles that don't get emailed out, but you can create one that's a newsletter and it gets emailed to everyone. And if they want to continue reading the article, they go to your LinkedIn, like the LinkedIn post. But the great thing about the article is you have your cover image, which is just the thumbnail that you use to post on Instagram and YouTube, so you aren't recreating anything. You can take your transcripts and put into ChatGPT, hey, expand this in like my like my how I'm talking and make a LinkedIn article from this transcript. And then you can embed the video, or if it's audio, a audio player, and it looks so professional.
Wow. Wow, Steph, now that is incredible. That is some great idea. That's a great idea. Love it.
Yeah. And especially like if you're if you're trying to, market to other businesses and professionals who are on LinkedIn, granted, not every demographic LinkedIn's the right fit, but if it is for you, like honestly, I've probably seen the most engagement and the most growth from doing those LinkedIn articles. So I would say that's if you don't have very much time, test out the LinkedIn articles first if that fits with what you're doing. Because LinkedIn, they joke and say that it's like the they joke and say that it's like the forgotten stepchild of social media. But because more people are not posting on it, when you do post, your stuff gets seen by a lot more people.
Man, you just gave me I'm gonna have to do a deep dive on that. Really, I appreciate that. I just made a note for me to follow up on, check out LinkedIn articles. And that's why we have this Pods and Properties, is to be able to get this kind of great information. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's really, I'm really looking forward to utilizing it.
Good. And I'm glad that like we can be honest about things on here because I haven't heard anyone really on their stuff be like, "Hey, it's hard to grow. I actually don't know how to grow." And that's where I'm not afraid to say that. Like, I don't really know how to grow, but guess what? I'm going to do some experiments like my 100-day challenge and do that with trying to grow so that I can share with other people what's actually working and not something that you put into ChatGPT. How do you grow your podcast? Because now I'm like, no, like, there's no proof behind this, like, give me some proof.
Right. Right. Absolutely. You're the best. And anybody, if you're looking to get into podcasting, you want to know the ins and the outs, Steph's the source.
But let me just wrap it up of being like, um, well, thanks guys. Thanks for making it to the end of this episode. I hope that you learned more about what's going on in real estate, what's going on in podcasting. And if you want to be a guest or you know someone that would be great on our show, please, please, please reach out to us, send us a message because we're always looking for great stories of entrepreneurs, business owners to share with us their idiot and their genius moments.